It's the 29th of October 2018, approximately 9 p.m. East African time. And what a historic day to be alive, as yesterday the country flagged off the maiden flag to New York. And today at approximately 2:51 p.m. it landed safely at the city of the Big Apple, ready to conquer the skies. That said, a very good evening to you on this last Monday of the month of October. Here is to hoping that your week has started off on the right trajectory. I am Ondiro Ganga, ready to bring you up to speed with all the news causing waves across the globe. And as you know, we are all about business. Here's a glance of all the news making headlines in the business world. Second AU-MNCAH International Conference, Mother and Child Health. Why does it matter? Omani Product Exhibition, Looking East. Maiden KQ New York flight flagged off. New York, here we come. The second International Conference on Maternal, Newborn and Child Health in Africa has today kicked off with an official opening by the country's First Lady, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, at the Safari Park Hotel in Nairobi. The event has a focus of maintaining momentum and focusing on ending preventable maternal and child deaths by 2030. Our reporter Daisy Wambua kicks off the bulletin for us.
Speaking while officially opening the three-day conference, the First Lady, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, pointed out the commitment of the government in addressing the needs of women and children.
Our governments have prioritized and made huge investments to address health needs of women and children. Collectively, we have broadened our scope of work to pay attention to issues that underpin vulnerability of women and children. We are committed to this trajectory because there's still a great deal of work to be done.
While acknowledging that the theme of the conference is in line with her Beyond Zero campaign initiative, she applauded the combined efforts of the various stakeholders.
I see many advocates in this room, and we know of countless others across our continent. I applaud you for your tireless work to improve the health and well-being of women and children. Today's theme resonates with my Beyond Zero initiative's work, whose theme is that no woman should die while giving life and that every baby should live to see his or her 5th birthday. It is a reality that I have focused on for the last 5 years, and today I add my voice to our commitment here because I strongly believe, like you do, that every mother and every child deserves to survive and thrive.
Cabinet Secretary of Health Cicely Kariuki was in attendance, and she said that the country has witnessed a 100% increase in the number of women safely giving birth in health facilities since the president scrapped off maternity service fees in public facilities.
In June the year 2013, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta directed the removal of user fees for maternity services in all public facilities, boldly committing government resources to improve maternal, newborn and child health with free maternity services across the country. This gave us an increase of over 100% in the number of women giving birth in health facilities, demonstrating that eliminating financial barriers greatly improves access to health for women and vulnerable populations.
The CS also noted that the rolling out of the universal healthcare in the government's Big Four agenda is of importance as it places more women and children in the country's development agenda.
The government of Kenya has further committed to health for all as one of our Big Four priority development agenda led by His Excellency the President by the year 2022. The ambitious rollout of UHC is a great stride in placing women and children at the forefront of Kenya's development agenda. It is envisaged that UHC will extend maternal health services to cover the 1.3 million pregnant women currently not covered by any medical insurance.
She also had a challenge for the county governments on this front.
I therefore wish to take this opportunity to urge county governments, through you, Governor Kuti, to continue focusing and investing in maternal and child health interventions.
The stakeholders continue to push for improved services in health systems even after the implementation of the existing national and regional policy frameworks that were discussed in the first conference in Johannesburg, South Africa in 2013. For Bram Plus TV Business News, I am Daisy Wambua.
Economic growth is essential in order to reduce poverty in developing countries. This goal can be fast-tracked through B2B and P2P business interactions. It is against this backdrop that the Omani Products Exhibition, OPEX, opened its doors for the first time in Kenya, bringing together business and industry players from Oman. Our reporter Karari John was present during the official opening and brings us more details.
OPEX is taking place at Kenyatta International Convention Center from today, 29th October to 1st November, with more than 80 industrial and service companies present. The companies represent different sectors of the economy, and in addition to the participation, present were a number of related governmental bodies and small and medium enterprises. The delegation from Muscat and Nairobi held a morning breakfast meeting to deliberate on the Oman-Kenya relation. Thereafter, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of East African Community and Regional Development, Adan Mohamed, together with his counterpart, Oman Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Ali bin Masoud Al Sunaidi, opened officially the exhibition, then toured through various stands to see what was on display. CS Mohammed, while addressing the media, started off by commending and welcoming the Oman businessmen and women to Kenya.
We have seen wonderful exhibition here, ranging from cable manufacturers to sanitary ware to, a lot of products, food items, non-food items, construction, and high-end, oil, related cement products, and many others. And I understand that we have just close to 80 companies that are exhibiting here, represented by more than 200 or so Omani businessmen and women who are here. Ours is to say, welcome to Kenya.
The Kenya and Oman Chambers of Commerce signed a business-to-business MOU with over 15 companies from Oman expressing interest in Kenya.
In furtherance of this program, today the two Chambers of Commerce of Oman and Kenya have signed an MOU that is going to be the basis for strengthening the relationship of the two business communities as we go forward. And I look forward to many Kenyans coming to see what Oman businesses have to offer, what Oman businesses are looking for in terms of partnership.
Oman is a country occupying the southeastern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, and the Oman Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Ali, had this to say.
Little over 80 companies are presented here. And I think the Oman Air direct flight plays a very big role. We already have 4 flights a week. We can only hope that will expand. I think also the line between our ports, the port of Salalah and the port of Mombasa, that regular weekly service hopefully will expand. We have witnessed today the signing of the MOU between the two Chambers of Commerce, which would facilitate the movement of business men and women between the two countries. I am also excited to see that most of the products that we have seen today are in line with the big 4 sectors that are outlined by the government of Kenya. I am also happy to see that some of our small and medium-sized enterprises are present, which can only connect to SMEs here in Kenya.
The Omani Products Exhibition is supported by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Kenya National Chambers of Commerce and Industry, among others. It is a demonstration of confidence in the potential of Kenya to bolster its foreign trade capacity. Reporting for Bram Plus TV, I am Karari John Wambugu.
Are you selling anywhere in Africa?
Now on to some historic stories since 1988. Last night saw the maiden Kenya Airways flight take off at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport for New York. The maiden flight was flagged off by His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta at the airport. The return flight is expected to land tomorrow mid-morning. Take a look. One by one, government dignitaries arrived with pride written all over their face. The lady of the moment, Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma, could not hold her joy and praised Kenya Airways for its resilience and further thanked the airline for giving Kenya a voice in the airline market.
The pride of Africa embodies the Pan-African ethos that are core to our foreign policy. Kenya is because Africa is. There could therefore not have been a better moment for this inaugural flight that will every day of the week scale the African continent, scale the Atlantic Ocean both ways, than now when the continent is redefining itself and claiming its rightful place in the destiny of all humanity.
With the flight headed to New York, she went ahead to attribute the milestone to the good diplomatic relation that Kenya has had with the United States of America.
Kenya Airways' decision to start flying the Nairobi-New York route bears testimony to Kenya's long-standing relationship with the United States of America. Today, this flight will take off exactly 2 months after a historic state visit and meeting between President Kenyatta and President Trump in Washington, D.C. on the 27th of August 2018. During that meeting, both sides expressed their confidence that this direct flight would multiply the opportunities for travel and engagement by government officials, by business, by citizens from both countries.
However, the excitement does not just stop at flying a new route. CS Juma went ahead to state that aside from the journey being an exploration, it is expected to bring with it good tidings.
Ladies and gentlemen, those of us with the distinct privilege of flying this flight tonight on behalf of 45 million Kenyans and more than 400 million Africans from the 10 source countries for KQ, and also more than 1.2 billion Africans from our continent, are embarking on a journey to the future that holds a transformational age for Africa. We are a bit like the explorers of yesteryears, you know. We are being sent ahead to confirm what we have anticipated: a shorter, a more efficient, a less costly journey that brings with it the promise for unlocking the untapped opportunities for our people's prosperity.
Then, the moment the 234 passengers had been waiting for, among them CNN journalist Richard Quest, came. One by one, they boarded the beast that is Boeing 7878 Dreamliner with pictures of the Big Five, captained by Captain Joseph Kinuthia. At 10:30, the band adorned in royal blue for the royal moment began belting out patriotic tunes as the president took a moment to have a word with the government delegation headed to New York. Though scheduled to take off at 10:45 p.m., the flight took off at 11:20 p.m. Before takeoff, both Kenyan and American flags were waved, chants of joy coming from invited guests getting to witness history. Then, the doors closed, the plane was up in the sky, cruising at a speed of 888 kilometers per hour, landing at the JFK airport at 2:51 p.m. Kenyan time, conquering the New York skyline. Welcome back to the most comprehensive, exclusively business news bulletin in the country. Thank you for staying with us. Now on to some matter education. Cabinet Secretary Education Ambassador Amina Mohamed this morning, together with Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang, monitored KCPE rehearsals in schools in Kibera before addressing a news conference at Olympic Primary School. Take a look.
With the KCPE exam scheduled to kick off tomorrow, Education Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Amina Mohamed during the press briefing said the ministry is satisfied with the preparations ahead of the primary school national exams kick off tomorrow.
We were here to carry out a rehearsal ourselves, to just see that everything that's needed is in place, that the candidates are properly registered, that the attendance registers are available, that the desks are arranged as per our regulations and requirements, and that the desks have both the names and the index numbers of the students. We also wanted to see whether the supervisors were present, the manager, the center manager was also present, whether all of them had their letters of appointment and their badges. And I think you also that they were all wearing badges, which meant that they had their letters of appointment to visit with the child to see how.
She further went on to wish students the very best in their exams, urging them to refrain from cheating, as the government has a plan to take care of every single student, irrespective of their performance.
And then we wanted also to encourage and inspire the students, tell them that we're wishing them well, and that we're all going through the same, kind of stress that they're going through, to just make sure that everything is in place. And then to encourage them and tell them that the government has a 100% transition policy, and that all the students that are sitting the exams today, tomorrow, and the day after, all of them will transition from Standard 8 to Form 1. Arrangements have been made, everything is in place for that. So that there is no undue, pressure that's made to bear on these children.
As the students from tomorrow pen their future, we at Brand Plus TV would like to wish them the very best.
Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. Mary Elizabeth Fry. It is hard to talk about maendeleo ya wanawake without mentioning the late Jane Kiano, and it is for this reason that women leaders gathered at her home to pay their last respect and give tribute to her extensive work in women empowerment. Our field team was present and filed the following report. Have a look.
Former First Lady Mama Ngina Kenyatta, while addressing the gathering, pointed out on the work the late Jane did for the nation and emphasized on the integral role that women play in the society.
Kulete rambi kwa mmoja wetu anatuasha, anafanya kazi ya nchi hii yetu kwa muda mrefu na kwa kujitolea sana, na nyinyi mkiwa wa mama mnapeo cheo msimamie nchi hii yetu, cheo kubwa, na hiyo ni ukweli. Mjue ya kwamba bila nyinyi wakina mama hatuwezi kuwa na nchi.
She has even waited until this cold.
She went on to urge the women to be united in order to achieve greater heights of success.
Mkifanya kazi pamoja, mkiwa na umoja, tunaweza kuwa na nchi. Tunajivunia. Kwa sababu wamama ndio wanasimamia nchi kutoka nyumbani, kutoka madarasa yote katika nchi yetu.
And he might want to do this.
In a passionate appeal, she asked the women to fight the evils in the society in an effort to attain the country we want.
Kwa hivyo ningemuomba yale munaona haiendelei vizuri kwa nchi yetu, lazima nyinyi muwe mstari wa mbele kupigana na maovu yoyote ile naendelea katika nchi yetu. Kwa hivyo mubaiti na hii corruption please. Inamaliza nchi yetu, na tukiendelea hivyo tutakuwa na nchi haina amani katika nchi zingine, na tusimnyamaze kwa sababu corruption inamaliza nchi na inasaidia watu kidogo sana.
Eldoret na kule kwingine.
On her part, the Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs Cabinet Secretary Margaret Kobia noted that to honor her legacy, issues around women empowerment must be resolved.
Jane, she shared with me how she worked in Maendeleo, most of the things that she did. She shared with me the joys she had. She also shared with me the concerns she has. And it is for that reason when we are all here, we are saying there are unresolved issues that we need to address, because she talked about them, and I think the least we can do is to find in women empowerment how we all come together around the same table and address this problem. And let me add, these problems are not going to be solved by anybody out of here. It is us, and I also don't want us to think there are some who are innocent, or the service today it was saying, who will do the work? We have unfinished work of putting the Maendeleo together the way Jane would have wanted it. So nobody is blameless.
Martha Karua, a former cabinet secretary, eulogized her as a matriarch of women movement in the country.
Jane was not just the matriarch of the Kiano family, but I regard her, and I think rightly so, as the matriarch of the women's movement in Kenya. And I do that. I did not know when I came here the things Terry Kantai has made us aware of the lobbying they did, of the milestones during those years, between the 70s and the 80s.
And I would like to introduce our...
She went on to celebrate her leadership, which carried the women of Kenya to greater heights.
And like many have said here, Jane was a mentor, a role model to many. And when I talk of role model and mentor, you do not even have to meet a person physically for them to mentor you. The best mentorship is by the way you carry yourself, the way you execute your duties. And there you mentor many. And I know, as a fact, Jane mentored many in this country.
Each and every one of us.
As the country celebrates the life of Jane Kiano, a woman dedicated to the empowerment of fellow women, the challenge remains: how are we as a country going to preserve her legacy?
Na nyinyi kina mama, mwajua alivyosema, tuungane pamoja tujenge taifa letu.
Now let's take a look at how the markets performed today. Here is a summary. summary of how the markets performed, but for more in-depth analysis of the same, tune in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for my next Big Bet with Brechan Deritu and Karanja Daniel. Now, let's take a look at the day's weather reports. That was it from our business news desk tonight, but do make sure to tune in at 9 p.m. tomorrow for a fresh serving of news-making headlines in the business world. Have a good night.